useful presents. Her Majesty would select the articles she liked the best, and order the rest to be put away, and she might never see them again. I must say that Her Majesty liked and admired some foreign things very much. She especially loved the French fancy brocades, for she was making new gowns almost every day. She was also pleased with soaps and powder that would beautify the skin. She always thanked us in a very nice way, and said how very thoughtful we were in selecting beautiful articles for her. Her Majesty would also say something nice to the eunuchs and girls, and that made everyone feel pleased. The 4th day of the 5th moon was the day that Her Majesty gave presents to us all, the different princes, high officials, servant girls and eunuchs. Her memory was something extraordinary, for she could remember every one of the presents that had been given to her the day before, and the names of the givers also. That was a busy day for us. Her Majesty gave people presents according to the way they gave her. We had yellow sheets of paper, and wrote out the names of those to whom she wished to give. That day Her Majesty was very angry with one of the wives of a certain prince, because her presents were the poorest. Her Majesty told me to keep that tray in her room, and said she would go over them and see what they were. I knew she was not pleased, for she had a tell-tale face. She told us to measure the silks and ribbons in that tray, and leave it in the hall. The ribbons were all of different lengths, all too short to trim a gown, and the dress materials were not of good quality. Her Majesty said to me: "Now you look for yourself. Are these good presents? I know very well all these things were given to them by other people, and they of course would select the best for themselves and give me what was left. They know they are obliged to send me something. I am surprised to see how careless they are. Probably they thought, as I received so many presents, I would not notice. They are mistaken, for I noticed the poorest the first. In fact, I can remember everything. I can see those who gave me things in order to please me, and those who gave because they were obliged to. I will return them the same way." She gave the court ladies each a beautiful embroidered gown, and a few hundred taels, the same to the Young Empress and the secondary wife. The presents which she gave us were a little different, consisting of 2 embroidered gowns, several simple ones, jackets and sleeveless jackets, shoes, and flowers for the Manchu headdress. She said that we had not so many gowns, and instead of giving us the money, she had things made for us. Besides that, she gave me a pair of very pretty earrings, but none to my sister, for she noticed that I had a pair of ordinary gold earrings, while my sister had a pair set with pearls and jade. Her Majesty said to my mother: "Yu Tai Tai, I can see you love one daughter better than the other. Rongling has such pretty earrings, and poor Deling has none." Before my mother could answer her, she had turned to me while I was standing at the back of her chair. "I will have a nice pair made for you. You are mine now." My mother told her that I did not like to wear heavy earrings. Her Majesty laughed and said: "Never mind, she is mine now, and I will give her everything she needs. You have nothing to do with her." The earrings she gave me were very heavy. Her Majesty said that if I would wear them every day I would get used to them, and so it proved that after some time I thought nothing of it. Now about this feast. It is also called the Dragon Boat Feast. The 5th of the 5th moon at noon was the most poisonous hour for the poisonous insects, and reptiles such as frogs, lizards, snakes hide themselves in the mud. For that hour they are paralyzed. Some medical men search for them at that hour and place them in jars, and when they are dried, sometimes use them as medicine. Her Majesty told me this, so that day I went all over everywhere and dug into the ground, but found nothing. The usual custom was that at noon Her Majesty took a small cup filled with spirits of wine, and added a kind of yellow powder, something like sulphur. She took a small brush and dipped it into the cup, and made a few spots of this yellow paint under our nostrils and ears. This was to prevent any insects from crawling on us during the coming summer. The reason why it was also called the Dragon Boat Festival was because at the time of the Zhou dynasty the country was divided into several parts. Each place had a ruler. The Emperor Zhou had a prime minister named Qu Yuan, who advised him to make alliance with the other 6 countries, but the Emperor refused, and Qu Yuan thought that the country would be taken by others in the near future. He could not influence the Emperor, so he made up his mind to commit suicide and jumped into the river, taking a large piece of stone with him. This happened on the 5th day of the 5th moon, so the year afterwards the Emperor got into a dragon boat to worship his soul, and threw rice cakes, called zongzi, into the river. On that day the people have celebrated this feast ever since. At the palace the theater played first this history, which was very interesting, and also played the insects trying to hide themselves before the most poisonous hour arrived. On that day we all wore tiger shoes, the front part of which was made of a tiger's head, with little tigers made of yellow silk to wear on the headdress. These tigers were only for the children to wear, and signified that they would be as strong as a tiger, but Her Majesty wanted us to wear them also. The wives of the Manchu officials came to the court, and when they saw us they laughed at us. We told them it was by Her Majesty's orders. A register recording the birthdays of all the court ladies was kept by the head eunuch, and a few days before my own birthday came around, the 10th day of the 5th moon, he informed me that the custom of the court was to make a present to Her Majesty, and said that the present should take the form of fruit, cakes, etc. So I ordered 8 boxes of different kinds. Early in the morning I put on full court dress and made myself look as nice as possible, and went to wish Her Majesty good morning. When she had finished dressing, the eunuchs brought in the presents, and kneeling, I presented them to Her Majesty, bowing to the ground 9 times. She thanked me and wished me a happy birthday. She then made me a present of a pair of sandalwood bracelets, beautifully carved, also a few rolls of brocade silk. She also informed me that she had ordered some macaroni in honor of my birthday. This macaroni is called Changshou Mian, the long life macaroni. This was the custom. I again bowed and thanked her for her kindness and thoughtfulness. After bowing to the Young Empress, and receiving in return 2 pairs of shoes and several embroidered neckties, I returned to my room, where I found presents from all the court ladies. Altogether I had a very happy birthday. I can never forget the 15th day of the 5th moon as long as I live, for that was a bad day for everyone. As usual, we went to Her Majesty's bedroom quite early that morning. She could not get up and complained that her back ached so much. We rubbed her back in turns, and finally she got up, though a little late. She was not satisfied. The Emperor came in and knelt down to wish her good morning, but she scarcely took any notice of him. I noticed that when the Emperor saw that Her Majesty was not well, he said very little to her. The eunuch who dressed her hair every morning was ill, and had ordered another one to help her. Her Majesty told us to watch him very closely, to see that he did not pull her hair off. She could not bear to see even 1 or 2 hairs fall out. This eunuch was not used to trickery. For instance, in case the hair was falling off, he could not hide it like the other one did. This poor man did not know what to do with any that came out. He was frightened, and Her Majesty, seeing him through the mirror, asked him whether he had pulled her hair out. He said that he had. This made her furious, and she told him to replace it. I almost laughed, but the eunuch was very much frightened and started to cry. Her Majesty ordered him to leave the room, and said she would punish him later. We helped her to fix up her hair. I must say it was not an easy job, for she had very long hair, and it was difficult to comb. She went to the morning audience as usual, and after that she told the head eunuch what had happened. This Li was indeed a bad and